my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what we're going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it's a Patreon pick. It's our good friend, Lucky Lulu Green, who is a Patreon on the VHS Strikes Back and Chris and Dave's Reality Cast, or CD Reality Cast as it's known, Dave. So thank you for your support. CD, quite appropriate for us. Quite appropriate with this movie today, but it's not our pick. It's not our pick, I might add. We're going back to 1980, and this is a classic movie, Dave, starring Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin. This is 9 to 5. So, Dave, do you remember where you first watched this, or what memories have you got of this movie?
So, it's funny the way this has worked out, because we did Stir Crazy last week, and I said I don't remember a time when we didn't have this one on, a copied VHS. It's just always been there. And I don't know what it is about the movie. I think I said this at the time, and you called bullshit. But I don't know what it is that I just really enjoyed it about this movie. And when our main protagonists are all 30-somethings women in the workplace, there's just something about it, something fun that I just really enjoyed. And it is billed as a comedy, isn't it? And yeah, so I do remember, I used to watch this quite a lot, Chris. And this is pre-teen, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So the two things you were speculating that I really was drawn to this movie, no, I don't think that was the case. I think it's just the tone of the movie, the fact, getting one over your boss, and the fact that it is just a bit silly. I think all of those things really spoke to me. But, like I say, we talk about these spurious little links that we keep kind of fall into. And the fact that this was in 1980, but I was looking at the numbers, almost exactly the same as Stir Crazy. So it cost $10 million to put together and made $100 million. Stir Crazy was almost the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the second highest movie of 1980, Gabe. As I said last week, I'm stealing last week's stats behind Empire Strikes Back. It was this and then Stir Crazy. But yeah, interesting, like you say, the two movies the same year, released within each other. So yeah, it's interesting how that works with us. And I can't find any furious links for this, Dave, unfortunately, to Stir Crazy.
Furious links or spurious?
That one as well. Furious. No, I'm furious, Dave. There's no link. The
Furiously looking.
The thesaurus, that is Chris Phelps. Mr. Grammar doesn't know what he means. But anyway, I can't even fucking say it right, but there you go. So,
well, how about you, Chris? Did you watch this at all?
No, never. This is the first time I've ever watched it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Seen little clips of it, fully aware of it, fully aware of Dolly Parton and, the Twin Peaks of Dolly Parton, shall we say, that were probably the most famous part about her. But never. I think I mentioned it a couple of episodes ago, and I stand by that, is that because our money was tight and things like that, if I got a chance to rent a movie, it was always martial arts, you know what I mean? Like my mum and dad never rented movies at all. So it was my grandparents. And obviously 1980, when I was renting movies out from, say, about 87, 86, 8, 9, 10 years old upwards, it was always violent stuff that I could just about get away with my grandparents. Sometimes my granddad would be like, I'm not watching that, it's violent or whatever, but sometimes, as I've said before, you could sneak one out, and there's no way I would have watched this. I'm pretty sure this was on UK TV around.
That's what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure I've seen this on UK TV as well. So probably around, mid to late 80s. I'm sure it would have been on around then as well.
Yeah, easy. And I just think it's one of the movies that just never interested me. Never really thought, right, I want to watch it. I think it was more the intrigue because the song is an absolute banger, as they say. I love the song.
Yeah.
I said it last week when we listened to the trailer. We actually I wanted to do this in the band as a little Renaissance stupid song when we were practicing before Christmas. Just something stupid to get everyone going in, like the pubs and stuff. But obviously that's died a death now, so it's never going to be. And I don't know whether I could have pulled it off singing it, but it was just one of them stupid songs. I think it's dead underrated. It's a brilliant tune, and I've got to say, Dave, I do have it on my rotation in my car when it comes on.
Nice.
I make sure I'm nowhere near anybody when I'm blasting a bit of Dolly Parton out, but there you go. But yeah,
it is one of those all-time great sing-along songs, though, isn't it? It absolutely is a banger. It's just, yeah, there aren't too many that get you tapping your foot like this, and no, it is such a great song, and it definitely features very prominently in this. And apparently, it was one of the conditions that Dolly Parton had put, you know, in order to star in this, that she would write the main theme to it. Well,
quite rightly, Dave, because it won numerous awards as well. This song was more popular than the movie at the Academy Awards. I mean, Dolly Parton got awards for Best Actress in supporting all. I'm like, I don't think so. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the song itself won Golden Globe Awards and everything, Dave. So as one of the best, and it was voted by the best movie song of 1980 to 81 as well. So yeah, it's interesting because it's definitely... That is the one thing I remember over anything. If you've not seen the movie, is the song, and I think everybody knows it. Like you say, it's an absolute classic, and at any party or anything, if that comes on, all the ladies get up, Dave. They're all giving it to, basically turning around to all the men putting the V's up at them because they hate them when this comes on. It's a proper, like, solidarity of the sisters together. But yeah, it's a great tune.
Yeah. Well, Chris, should we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
20th Century Fox presents a tribute to anyone who has ever been overworked, underpaid, and pushed to the edge by an ungrateful boss. They arrive promptly at 9, because if they're not on time, they know they'll get the sack. But before they begin the daily grind, the boss takes his cup black. They remember each date, make sure he's not late, and keep everything organized. They reserve tables for brunch or a 3-martini lunch while they dine on burgers and fries.
This road.
They listen to all his problems. They do their best to please. And even if they run the show, he gets paid for their ideas.
Great work.
And so long as he's alive, from 9 to 5, they'll take it all they can.
This road, come in here.
But what will go on when the light finally dawns that it's time to get back at that man?
This road.
Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton. 9 to 5.
Chris, we've seen some shit trailers. They just don't do trailers like they used to.
That is one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. I mean, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, when you listen to that, and I'm not unbiased, but when I listened to that podcast the other week, I'm fucking crying because the guy at the end is fantastic. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. You know, and it's just so good. That is shit. It's so shit. They've done that on the fucking shoestring budget. And then at the end, they've gone, Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, by the way, these people are in the movie for this generic, office footage that we've got. Honestly, that Hard Ticket to Hawaii, though, it's just like, it's a great place to visit, but you wouldn't want to die there.
I can't do his voice justice. He's dead deep in a bit. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I love it. I absolutely love it. That is awful. It's 1950s music, typing pool. I mean, you see one of the bosses pat one of the girls on the arse as well, Dave, basically saying how fucking bad it is working in a male-dominated office with bosses and stuff. And then at the end, it's just like, just stick them on. So I don't know where that come from. And we'd looked, haven't we, on YouTube for some trailers. And that is the official trailer. It's absolutely terrible.
It is. But let me get into the plot and then we'll get going with it. So, reserved former housewife Judy Burnley starts work as a secretary at Consolidated Companies under the supervision of experienced and sharp-tongued widow Violet Newstead. Both work under the egotistical and sexist vice president Frank Hart, whom Violet once trained and who spreads the false rumour that he and attractive married secretary Dorlee Rhodes are having an affair. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, Dave, 42 years later, and even though I know this is about like the way women were treated and it's terrible, and even to this day, there's proper sexism like in the workplace, but bosses are going to be bosses, Dave. And if they're stealing ideas and everything, I just love the fact that nothing's changed. The world's changed. Technology's changed.
You love it, do you?
No. Hang on. Wait a minute. A very, very poor choice of words there, Chris. No, what I mean is, I don't love it, but what fucking hell. What I mean...
I think what you mean is it's still relevant today.
It's still relevant. Yeah, sorry. It's still relevant. You've still got
It's great that he pats him on the bum and, he's completely sexist in the workplace. I love it.
Yeah. I do that myself every day. Yeah. No, but what the comparisons are for me is Sam works in a male-orientated industry. She works in the motor industry and she moved jobs about 3 years ago and she said it was like fucking working that something out of the 70s. The sexism, like, make us a brew, love, and all this sort of crap. And even though she was a PA and all this stuff, he said the bosses were awful. It was like that, not to the extent of like, not fucking groping and things like that. Obviously, I won't put with that, but just the way they spoke to women, like dead derogatory and spoke down to her. And it's one of the reasons she left. And she's at a company now that value everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, everyone gets treated well. But she said like it was just like, she used to say it's like an episode of The Sweeney or like Minder or something at some time. It was just so bad. And watching this, like when I said we were going to watch this, and I watched this on my own, Sam actually said she went, I'm pretty sure it's going to be like my old place. And I was like, yeah. And when I watched it, and some of the stories she used to say, like, Sam ain't nobody. Someone said to her, go make a brew, like one of the bosses, and that she'd have just told her to fuck off, you know what I mean? But most people wouldn't. And they'd just be like, oh, right, okay. And she won't stand for that, as you know, because I'm absolutely under the fun, Dave. So I can't say, that goes. But so watching it and the way it starts is interesting. I love the fact that Frank's got this secretary who's an absolute grass. He's PA, and I've come across PAs like that loads of times. It's like Dabney Coleman, she's called in the film, and she comes over, dead straight hair, and she's like, "Have you read this memo?" And you can see like Violet, Lily Tomlin's character. She's like, "Yep, I've read it," and she's just going to shred it. Sort of like, fuck off, because you get them emails where you just like we get emails. They would have got written memos. You get them now and you go, I'm like, oh, fuck off. I don't give a shit. Someone's taken too much paper out of the finger or something. Oh, whatever. Shut up. So I love all that, but also it's quite frustrating watching it because I'm sort of thinking, and that's what I was trying to get at with saying the comparisons. The world hasn't really changed that much, Dave, in a lot of respects, and that's terrible. But this movie's interesting because it's a great setting. And the concept of it's really good, but I wouldn't say any of it's a comedy. A bit like last week with Stir Crazy. I think it goes on another level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's not laugh out loud hilarious, is it? It's just, for me, it's fun in places, despite the fact I think some of it's like really quite sinister. It's a bit of a black comedy almost at times, some of it. Now, what I would say is to not be all doom and gloom. I do think things have moved on a bit. Like the company I work for, I think it's quite progressive. They're trying to get to 50-50 by, I think it's 2030 or something. So, they're trying to address the balance, but I think progress has been really slow. And actually what I thought when I was watching this was it was really quite progressive, because it was showing you that side of things. It was showing you the inequality, but, and you can imagine in the 70s and the 80s, it gets marginally better each decade, but the progress has been pretty slow. And so, but what I liked is from the off, you've got, our three main protagonists. You've got Judy, Violet, and Dorlee. And actually, in the office, they don't really like each other, Violet gets lumbered with training up Judy, but Violet's, a proper, go-getter. And she's trained her boss, and the boss is the one saying, "Oh, go and train Judy," played by Jane Fonda. And she's like, "Oh, fuck's sake, this is beneath me." So she doesn't like her. And then they think Dorlee is having this affair with the boss that, he's created the whole rumor, whereas she's just, turning a blind eye to his advances and just trying to do a good job. So I like how it starts off that they're not friends, they don't get on or anything, but through circumstance, they end up, Violet gets turned down for the promotion, where Judy is kind of the point of view character. She's coming into this office, isn't she? She's almost like Chris, almost like the first day, first episode of The Office, because they got that new graduate, haven't they, coming in?
Yeah.
And David Brent shows them Flat Eric and stuff. But, Dorlee ends up finding out about this affair and why everyone in the office is treating her like shit, and they end up, having a bit of a moment. They smoke one spliff between them at the bar, have a few drinks. I liked that, that birth of that camaraderie between them.
Yeah. I think so, and I think that's, and you're right. Actually, it is quite a progressive movie, and I'm going to bring it down, Dave, as only Chris Phelps can, my friend. But I have talked to you about this off podcast.
Do I have to get the Carry On sound effects ready?
Yeah. What is going on with Dolly Parton's boobs, right? Because they're massive, right? I know they're big, but I don't think they're as big as what they are. I know she's had enhancements since this movie, but it looks like she's got, tissue where a nipple should be. This sounds like I was stood right in front of the fucking telly.
Your fucking face pressed up against the screen.
I've got a new telly on the 65-inch, 120 hertz, fucking top-of-the-range gaming telly demos. They're right front rubbing me fucking Big B style. But there's these some weird things. I don't know whether they're trying to, hide her nipples or, puff out her boobs, because they look dead weird, her boobs. Obviously, she's top heavy. She's very petite. She's obviously about 5 foot inch in real life, if that, in heels. But it just looks really bizarre. And every time she's on screen, not in a Chris Phelps, oh my God, let's do some press ups, I might get caught out, where, a la American Pie. But I just was mesmerized by her boobs, going, they're just not real. What is going on here? Really off-putting. But I don't mean that in a, oh yeah, matron sort of thing. I mean in a, it looks so unnatural way. I'm digging myself a fucking hole, and I know Lucky Lulu Green's going to be putting her head in her hands this is not what I wanted, Chris. I'm so sorry. But it's just fucking off-putting, Dave. I want your feedback before I start burying myself even more.
What I love is that, you've just made this passionate plea that, we've not made enough progress for equality in the workplace in the 42 years since this movie was released. And your first fucking point is about Dolly Parton's tits.
Yeah, but it's a concerned viewer. It's a concerned viewer. Okay, you've all called me out then.
I don't know, because there's definitely something going on. Chris, the whole fascination with Dolly Parton, I don't really get it. And I think probably because I was, watching this movie as a prepubescent boy. Mind you, I don't know, because when I watch things like Fall Guy and things like that, I definitely had stir-ins for was it Jodie or whatever her name is in that, and Daisy Duke.
Daisy Duke, yeah.
So I didn't feel the same way about Dolly Parton. But I can see why, other people would. But I think it's just something to do with the style of bra that she's wearing, maybe. It's kind of like Madonna's Vogue bra, isn't it? Before Madonna just brought them into It's a fashion.
I brought this right down.
You know
here,
what? I think we should probably move on from that. So, no, Chris, I didn't really. It didn't take me out of the movie. Her choice of bra wear.
Anyway, let's move on from that. But I will say, I want to stay on Dolly Parton, not for the obvious reasons, but I think she's awful in this, Dave. I think her acting is terrible. I really do. I know she's basically just playing herself, isn't she? The way it is. There's not really much expansion on her as a character. And I know it's like she's getting on with a job. She's married, obviously, in this, like, like with a character. He's an absolute wanker, Frank. You know, he drops his pens and stuff on the floor, and then he get this like proper carry-on like shot where he's looking down the top and everything, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he ends up on the floor with her, and his wife comes in, and I've said this scene before. It's just fucking Monty Python, where the guy goes to the doctor with his fit missus, and he goes, "Can you just stay outside while I have a bit?" And then that big fist comes and like punches him in the face because he's letting the doctor give his missus a scene to. But this is like, I just think she's poor in it. I think like a delivery, there's no emotion in what she does. It's just, I don't know. For me, I think she's the weakest link. However, she won nominations over Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, Dave, and I found that baffling.
Fucking me too. It's fucking yeah. I can get you in on the awards if you like. I don't know. I think you're right. The problem is, I think you've got Jane Fonda there and Lily Tomlin as the other two main protagonists, you know, playing Judy and Violet. And you can tell they're actors, you know, they are acting. And Dolly Parton is just not at that same level. So I don't think she's not horrendous. She's not like Tommy Wiseau in The Room or anything. No,
she's not, no.
But she's not quite up to the standard of the other two, I don't think. And so, yeah, I can see that. But like you say, Chris, she's not there for her acting.
No, not. Yeah, bloody hell, Dave, it's not Tommy Wiseau levels at all. I just find it funny that she gets a proper billing. She gets a Golden Globe nomination for it. I don't understand that. But anyway, I'm not going to go. I've already gone deep on Dolly Parton. Too forward. Fuck me, my choice of words today. Right, let's move on, Dave. Anyway, so one of the things I find really, again, just fun, is this almost like Family Guy dream sequences. So, you know, when they're smoking a bit of pot, and I like as well the way they lay it up, because I've not watched this, Chris, in probably 30 years or something, and they're all at the bar. You know, Violet's got this marijuana cigarette, Chris, you know, that they're going to take back. And they're all saying like, yeah, it doesn't affect me at all. You know, I don't know what the point is. And then they're all laughing their tits off, you know, just find it hilarious. And then they start going into these little stories about what they're going to do to get revenge on Hart, you know, the boss, you know, and so Judy's like going to shoot him as if, you know, he's a deer. And then you get Dolly talking about how she'd hog tie him up and basically roast him over a slow fire, but, you know, she'd sort of sexually harass him, you know, how he's been doing to her. And then you get Violet, you know, has this whole Snow White sequence, you know, but basically she'd poison his coffee. I just thought that bit was just really fun, the way they put it all together. Yeah, I think it was, and I think what you said before, the side, like this is like the sinister side of it, because like Violet steals the body when they think that because he said they think they've poisoned him, don't they? And then they've gone to, she steals the wrong body. No one bats an eyelid, Dave. Really, yeah. Bit of a question. Takes the body out, puts it in the boot of a car, superhuman strength. She can obviously lift a dead body. Then they just take it back, and everyone's none the wiser. But it is a bit sinister. Now, Frank's an awful character. He's a proper misogynist, sexist wanker. He's nicking Violet's ideas. He's got these promotions. She was obviously the one who trained him. She absolutely hates him. You know, he does it again with like the main director guy. Another thing gets a handshake. She's fuming as the lift goes up, and he's like smirking at her as if to say, well, you know, tough shit sort of thing. But it's so like when they kidnap him and put him in the sex gear, Dave. It's like fucking 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. And Frank's there walking around this house. I love the fact that his wife comes in and he still gets out of it without her even questioning what he's fucking brilliant. I mean, look, I'm not saying I'd be up for someone like this, Dave, but if we all had wives like that, Jesus Christ, you'd be up to all sorts, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What are these two women I've caught you in bed with? Oh, they're giving me, I've got a bad leg, shoulder massage. Oh, right, no problem. See you later, Sam. Shut the door. Yeah, just shut the door behind you. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, it's after that whole sort of night out and stuff, that boozy night out, and they've had a bit of a smoke, and Violet, accidentally puts the rat poison in his coffee, but so she genuinely thinks she's killed him off, but then that's the first thing, but then it's to kind of cover everything up that they steal the body, and it gets deeper and deeper, doesn't it? It keeps getting worse and worse to try and get themselves out of it. So it turns out they haven't killed him, but they have to kidnap him. And again, the fun bits, I like the way, he's basically going to clobber her over there. He's going to clobber Dorlee over the head. But then she presses the button on this little sex swing type thing. And then, he's kind of, it drags him back and he's hanging from the ceiling. I just thought it was brilliant. But you're right in that I think it's the music that gives it this fun tone.
Yeah.
It's like when I say, like Superman 2, Superman throws General Zod to his death. But because you got the John Williams score and everything, it's like, da, 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 da. Everyone's like, yeah, come on, Superman. It's just like, he's just thrown this guy, to his death. They could have played that off a lot worse, but it comes off, makes you feel like it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think with this, they could have, if you think of the content, it's really quite sinister, and they could have played it off like that, but because of the music and everything. What I hadn't certainly remembered is 9 to 5 is the main theme with Dolly Parton singing, but the score is right throughout this movie, isn't it? It's always playing that main kind of almost like a riff. Do 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 do. All the way through the movie, they're reusing it.
For your height only.
Yeah.
But one thing as well, like when he gets free, and obviously she comes back, Mrs. rings Dorothy as well, doesn't she? She's talking to him, and he comes in the office. Fucking Jane Fonda's character, Judy, she's firing guns at him, Dave. Funny enough, there's no one in the office, and no one bats an eyelid that she blows a window out. But he runs off, and she's firing a gun, and you're like, what? I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And nobody, there wasn't a memo from fucking his secretary then saying from Dabney saying, has anybody lost a gun or some bullets? Yeah. You know what I mean? It was very, very strange. But this is when it unravels for Frank that he's been ripping money off from the company, hasn't he? Because they end up blackmailing him ultimately to sort of bin him off and stuff. So I did like when he comes back in the office and they've implemented stuff that a lot of companies have only just fucking implemented 40 years later, Dave. Flexible working, job sharing. That was really, you know what? Whatever stuff I've took the piss out of today in the episode, I was really smiling at that point thinking, that is fucking something that even my company has only just implemented, like working from home or, I don't know, with lockdown. But these things that my company was so archaic with, Dave. You've got to be in the office and your face has to be seen for 8 hours a day and all this bullshit. Yeah. And now, he said, but it was brilliant. Honestly, I was smiling because I'm a proper employee warrior, as you know, like I'm the one who goes to fight for everyone when there's something going wrong at work. So I was like, yeah, you go, girls. Go on. But I thought that was really good.
It was only subtly played as well, wasn't it? Yeah. Because it's kind of like the main plot is all around, getting Hart and, again, this thing where it just gets worse and worse. They think they've killed him accidentally, then they kidnap him, so it goes from an accidental thing to a very deliberate thing. In between that, they've stolen his body and everything. But because he's not around, they're putting they're implementing all these things, like you say, flexible working and stuff, and everyone's in the office more. Everyone's more motivated and working harder. And it's just kind of this thing in the background, but I was amazed by that. It's almost like a window into the future. And it's almost like people knew if you put all these things in place, it would motivate people more, but for whatever reason, a lot of shit companies, a lot of shit bosses just won't have it. They want to, like you say, have someone, if you're not there and physically in the office, you're not doing work kind of thing. And it's only kind of the teleconferencing tools and stuff are a lot better now, but really you've had phone conferencing for decades now.
Yeah.
But people just don't like it. They want you to be physically there in the office. So I just thought that bit was the most impressive thing about the whole movie, just how they pretty much predicted the future there with how companies work. And you look at companies like Google and stuff, they're probably one of the more progressive where, there's lots of fun things to do in the office, but they work their fucking arses off. It's not just all about this free time. They'll have a day out of the week where they can just work on a pet project that they've got, and so that's how a lot of the stuff that's come out of Google has been little side projects that people have worked on and stuff. So yeah, really, really impressed by that bit.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I've gone from talking about someone's bra to being very impressed with it being progressive, Dave. So that's pretty good. But I do like the way they get rid of Frank, because obviously his hands are tied. The fuck's but he's knackered now. His whole plan and what he's been doing, the deception unraveling, but they stitch him up because he ends up having to go to Brazil because the president thinks that he's a fucking brilliant. Russell Tinsworthy is the character. He thinks he's this brilliant manager, and look at all these things done for his staff. What a guy! So they basically inadvertently bin him off, which is clever. Instead of just shooting him and poisoning him, which they were trying, it actually works out that by doing and being better people, they made it a better working environment. So I did like that. I like that way. That's the sort of payoff. However, he does say at the end that he got kidnapped by a tribe of Amazons and was never heard of again. That was a bit of a bad end for the poor Frank. I don't think he was running an office out in the Amazon rainforest, Dave. But yeah, I think it all worked out. And obviously, Dora Lee went off to be a country and western singer, Dave. So
of course.
But yeah, good. I was good. Yeah, I thought it ends pretty well. I think the last half hour is really good. It knits it together. I think the end of this is better than what we had with Stir Crazy. Stir Crazy was all over the place, even though I was invested in that sort of heist, payoff, prison escape thing, which I do love in movies and stuff. This seemed to be more gel, more together, and it give you a bit of a smile at the end of it, I think, because everyone got the payoff that they wanted, which I thought was good.
Yeah, it was a good happy ending, wasn't it?
Good film.
Apart from Frank or Hart.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris, no, awesome. So should we get into our final review?
Let's go. So, Dave, brilliant pick from Lucky Lily Green. Thank you for picking that. Really, really different movie again, but one I've always wanted to watch, and I was like, yeah, at some point get it. And I've had a chance to watch it. Enjoyed it. Wasn't sure whether I would or I wouldn't. It is, there's some things that haven't aged well, but I think the whole story of it is great, and I think it works well at the end. Good acting by Dolly Parton, obviously. There's a couple of things with Dolly. I won't go over them again. I stood out being the observationalist I am. But anyway, let's move on from that. But honestly, still a good movie. Soundtrack's brilliant. And I think you just get the payoff at the end that you want. So I'm going to put it, Dave, in Hill Valley. I think I'll definitely watch this again. If Sam wants to watch it, I'll watch it with her. Definitely want to see it again, see if there's some things that I missed first time round. But no, really, really interesting choice and something completely different to what we do. So what about yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm probably the same. And even though I've got all the nostalgia as well, watching this movie again, it just made me smile because, like I say, I did quite enjoy it as a kid as well. Had it on the old Scotch tapes back in the day. And, just really fun to go back and watch it. You hear that theme tune and it's just timeless, isn't it? You know, you can't help but tap your foot. All the things that are sung about, you know, and all the things this movie speaks to, you know, it's still there now today, isn't it? I think things are better, but just not really as much as we probably think, you know, something should be 42 years ago. So, it's going to be a hill valley for me as well. Just really glad we'd done this one. Tell you what, Chris, we racked up a few movies this year that you haven't seen, haven't we?
Yeah.
It feels like, certainly from the Patreon picks, it's almost half, I would say.
Yeah, and the abuse I got this week because I've never seen Mannequin, Dave, which was our good friend.
And Inner Space. That was the big one.
Inner Space, yeah. Glyn went after us, which we'll talk about Glyn in a minute, but yeah, went after me.
And then everyone just piled in.
Yeah. Oh, God, Twitter was abuse. Which I love. I always feel like Jon Snow. Come on, then, let's have it. Yeah. I take it all on the chin. It's always good fun. I got so much abuse. Like, you're supposed to be some 80s film buff. No, I'm not. I'm not an 80s film buff.
You just watch some films. Lauren Avedon.
Lauren. I'd definitely touch myself over Lauren. But anyway, Dave.
Lauren Avedon in the buff, not a movie buff.
No, yeah, that's it, yeah. As you alluded to, by the way, yeah, I did spot that. You were in the comments as well. You're not getting away with that scot-free. But anyway, Dave.
I just like to join in the crowd. I'm like, rubbish.
Get him. Yeah. Fucking get the bastard. Right, anyway. Dave, Glyn has joined our Patreon. We mentioned it last week. We've been a Patreon before. He's been a friend of ours on Twitter for a long time, and he supports the podcast, Comics in Motion, everything. So what has he picked, Dave, for his movie?
Now, this one is one of his favourites, and I just don't know how this is going to go, Chris, because when we went back to watch Top Gun, it didn't age as well as I thought it had. I don't think you'd watched it before, but I think it's fair to say you pretty much hated it. Now, this one is very, very similar. It's from 1986, and it is Iron Eagle.
Doug Masters. He's 18 years old. Raised on an airbase.
Are you out of your mind? My left bollock
born to fly. Living for the day he'll earn his wings. Suddenly, just when life was going great.
Doug, it's your dad. He's been shot down.
He's like the Powell Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the kind of fucking Top Gun, isn't it? Oh, no, look at the generic.
Please just tell me what's going on.
Bad. Your country has been warned time and time again.
Because they claim a 200-mile limit. We only recognize 12.
So when are they going in?
Reparation is our due.
Don't lie to me.
3 days. In 3 days, they're going to hang him.
When the Pentagon is helpless.
We're doing all we can.
And Washington's hands are tied.
We make the laws in this country.
There's only one thing to do, and he'll do it with one of the toughest fighter pilots who ever lived, retired Colonel Chappie Sinclair.
You know, your dad understands a lot about people's dignity. That's the last kind of person in the world I want to see locked up in some stinking cage somewhere.
Do you think with the right plan, it'd be simple to go in and get him?
Probably.
What's going on?
Look, I'm telling you right now, I bet you can get a plane. Bingo, we're in.
Are you wide enough to get me a couple of pilots, too?
I've got 3 times as many hours on that simulator as most pilots flying Falcons on this base right now.
I'll test you out on some live targets.
He may know how to fly. Now he must learn how to fight.
Want you concentrate.
Yeah! All right! Directly going!
Everyone told them to sit tight and wait.
Heat up from here on out.
For them, waiting time is over.
Okay.
They're going in against the clock.
I guess bonus for that.
In a pair of borrowed F-16s.
One mission, one heart, one soul.
Chappie, I hit it.
Now just worry about the 3 mates that got up.
Climb!
Academy Award winner Louis Gossett Jr., Jason Gedrick, Iron Eagle.
Dave, he didn't get an Academy Award nomination for this. That's fucking false advertising. He might have for another film. What the hell? That is an absolute fucking Pound Bakery fucking Top Gun, isn't it?
I was convinced I'd seen this, but I'm watching the trailer.
I don't think I have. I thought I had.
I'm not sure I have seen this.
No.
But it's one of those that's so familiar. Yeah, maybe it's just one of those that I've just seen in the video shop so much. I actually think I've watched it, but it's almost like War Games. Remember that with Matthew Broderick?
Yes. Yeah,
it's almost like that, you know. So he's playing on the flight simulator. So we're going to give you this $50 million fucking aircraft to fly, and you're going to be ace at it. But I have to say, as we were watching that trailer there, and I hadn't watched the trailer before, you know, we've just come on and recorded. When Queen kicks in there, I'm like tapping my foot. I'm like, all right, I can get into this. You know, a bit Queen, flying some planes. So actually, I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm taking the piss, Dave. But I mean, I've never watched Top Gun, did it, till last year. So there's no way. I remember that this has got an iconic VHS cover, the two of them together. I've seen that cover so many times that, you know, when you used to go in the video shop. So I'm interested as well. I forgot he was Queen. I know Glenn's wanted to do this one for so long. So I'm really, I'm looking forward to it, Dave. Looking forward to this one. Let's see. But I'm not buying that one. He's 18. And that all of a sudden he's the only one in the US Army can actually rescue his dad. No, all them fighter pilots. You know what I mean? So let's see, Dave.
Poirot there as well, you know.
I'm sure that was Michael Dudikoff, you know, in one of the sergeants there. I could be wrong, Dave. Sure, it looked like him. I'll have to investigate that. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, Dave, if you want to support us, guys, a big thanks to Glyn there. Brilliant stuff for next week. Get over to Patreon, patreon.com/thevhsstrikesback. If you want to email us, thevhsstrikesback@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us on social media, at VHSStrikesback. So today's roll call of honour is John Hammond, Blake, Maths, Jax, Herb, Lucky Lily Green, Kent, Dylan, Heath, Matt, Carl, Paul, Alec, Timothy, and our good friend Glyn again. So thank you so much, mate. And as always, Dave, you know what I've done. You better be on IMDb. What are you going to take out today, my friend?
Well, Chris, you've just got to finish off with a bit of 9 to 5.
If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain. Do you know which philosopher said that? Dolly Parton. Yeah. And people say she's just a big pair of tits.
And I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taking and no giving, they just use your mind.
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back. That's not.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go.
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid. Yeah, maybe you're crazy. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I seen you at 6.